Greetings and salutations, ladybugs, gentle germs, widgets, and what that's and welcome back to Create-SSP, a single-player series based heavily on, or influenced heavily on, the Create SMP from far better content creators than myself, MrBeardstone, FoxyNoTail, ChosenArchitect, Dejojotheawsome, I can't remember the rest of his username. Right. They'll be all listed in the description. Some of them are phenomenal content creators. Most of them are incredible builders as well. A few of them, self-admittedly, are not the greatest builders in the world, which is something that I can relate to. I suck at building. Kind of want to use this series to help me branch out a little bit and improve on my building skills, but we'll have to see if that actually works or not. Okay. We are continuing the slow and steady process of putting together a, whoops, that is not the right tool, a space so we can actually start putting a proper base together. So maybe, just maybe, we can get out of our hobbit hole. Now, we do have a nice little water wheel going on here. It is powering a drill, which is working on a lovely cobble gem, which is super inefficient, probably, which passes down the cobble into this millstone, which then grinds it down into gravel, which then gets washed, and we get ourselves iron nuggets. I'm actually trying to let that run for quite a while so that I can just get a feel for how well it's doing when it comes to processing. That thing's going to be slow. It really honestly is just a stopgap farm until I can come up with a better plan for farming. And build some much better farming structures. So the one thing I like about Create is you can put together some really down and dirty, or what I'll call down and dirty farms like that one, that basically just accomplish one goal and can do it well, but they are by no stretch of the imagination elegant or polished in any way, shape, or form. And once you have that initial farm giving you a steady supply of resources, sounds like I need to turn the game down a little bit. So let's do that. Let's turn that to there. So once you have that steady block of resources, you can, from that initial makeshift farm, you can put together much more elaborate, more efficient, more elegant farms. What's so incredible about Create is it tends to build on itself a lot. I'm gonna real quickly try to break my shovel. I'm digging out and leveling off this dirt patch over here. Sorry. I have dirt to fill in and bring all the land up to a nice, even level. Okay. That all looks pretty good. Haven't quite broke the shovels yet, but I should be getting pretty close to doing that. See, that's... I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to get too close. So we're going to jump over here. We're going to open this up, and we're going to throw our gravel in there that we definitely... Yeah, we're working on it. Slowly but surely, we're working on it. Alright. So we can put that away. Let's throw those away for the moment. We'll sleep through the night. And get back to terraforming. Again, I don't know if you saw my community announcement post on this series, but this is going to be a fairly slow series, at least in comparison to the SMP series. And that is in large part due to the fact that I really don't want to do a whole lot of editing. I am being lazy. And yes, I know I'm being lazy. But that's my prerogative as the content creator. And that, and I enjoy the play. I like the design, and I've seen so many times where I've tried watching the Just Create SMP series, and when I tried watching it from each of the perspectives of the different builders, the different content creators that are involved, they're just so from a timeline consistency standpoint, it is so disjointed that it's almost too hard for me to see. It's just like things get built so quickly from one perspective. It's like you blink and you have this nice big creeper farm castle in the background, and yet another perspective, it takes a while. It's just, it's a style that it just feels a little weird to me, to do a lot of off-camera stuff, and so I'm avoiding that as much as I can. There might be a couple of times, honestly, where I will, or if I have a farm running, since this is a single-player world and it is not a server, I have to be in the world for it to actually run. There might be a time or two, or there may come a time where I have a farm that's giving me resources that I just need to let it run. Just let it run and generate the resources. And so I might launch the world and just kind of idle, AFK, in the background, as it were. I am gonna grab this andesite. It's a nice big deposit of it, so I'm gonna dig it all up. so that I have it. Because you do use a lot of andesite. Okay. We'll take the zinc because I'm gonna need a bunch of zinc. That's another resource that you almost need a huge amount of. The early game can be a little tough, depending on your world, how your world seed is cooperating, or how well it's cooperating, I should say. Alright, I need to, because I don't want to use up all my dirt. So I need to start using my cobble to bring this out. I got a lot of cobble, so this is nothing. I am... Ooh, iron. We'll take the iron too. Probably should start taking the copper, because I think I'm going to want to put all of this lava that I'm creating put it into a nice tank. Great. Alright. So let's put a few things away. Replace my broken tools, my broken and near broken tools. Andesite, andesite. Da, 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 da. Let's grab a fair bit of the fair bit of the cobble. And my last sticks, which is a good thing actually. Okay. So, up to 42. Okay, it's doing better. Doing better. Alright, I am... Oh, that's... dang it. Sorry. Had to get that piece of andesite. I know, it seems silly, but... So there's one thing that I don't want to say it bothers me, but I find it a little strange, and I kind of understand why it's done. A lot of builders, they have something they're digging out or trying to lay out, and they'll just kind of put like a top layer of what they're terraforming to, what their end surface layer is going to end up being. And I understand part of it is resources, part of it is time and effort. But then they have to go in and essentially mob-proof, spawn-proof, all of that void space underneath. Why don't just, if you've got the time, fill it in. If you've got resources. I have resources right now. I'm probably going to use all of them to fill this in, but... Okay. But yeah, it's just fill it in. Just make it so it's solid. You end up creating all of these mob farms because you need to landscape and you need to lift the ground up a bit, and you don't take the time to fill in the empty space beneath it. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Maybe that's why I'm not a terribly great builder, is I spend too much time filling in the voids. I admit it. I admit it. That it's just a weird quirk for me, I guess. Alright, see, this is what... See, this is what I don't like. Because now what I'm going to have to do is throw a torch back here. And just for safety's sake, we'll put one over there too. So this area doesn't turn into a mob farm. Mob spawner. All right. So let's sleep through the night. Check on you. I honestly think that's going to be the ratio. I think the flint will fill before the iron does. Well before the iron does. Alright. Put a few things away. Let me go ahead and put the cobble away for now because it's the dirt that I really want to hang on to. Alright, we've got ourselves a decent amount of andesite for the time being, so we're just gonna let that mess become a mess over there. And we'll work on filling in. Some more dirt placing. There is actually kind of a reason why I am filling up to this level. It's kind of a weird, quirky way chunks work. And something that's not known a whole lot within the Minecraft community. At least I haven't ever seen a whole lot of people talk about it. We all know with F3, that's not it, F3G, there we go, we have the horizontal chunks. But there's also vertical chunks as well. Now, in terms of chunk loading, the entire vertical column of a chunk loads whenever a chunk is loaded. So that doesn't affect that at all in any way, shape, or form. But it's nice to have everything within a single chunk. See that dark? Yeah, that dark blue line right there, right at the crosshairs, is the top of a chunk. That is the bottom of this chunk. So we have a 16 by 16 square. That's why I build up to this level, is so that my feet, everything from the surface of the ground up is in the same chunk, same vertical chunk. It makes absolutely no difference, honestly, that I have ever been able to tell. But I just do it because it's just a little bit of my OCD kicking in. Honestly, it's what it is. It's just a little bit of my OCD kicking in. That's what it is. Just turn my chunk borders off. We'll use the last of this dirt to get a little bit more of this spot filled in. We're gonna do a little bit of digging here. We're digging a little bit more digging. Okay. A little bit more digging. That's going to be a pain in the butt to fill in. All right. It seems a little out of place for digging, but caving it probably wouldn't be too bad, but digging does seem a bit out of place. So let's fill this in. So we can get things up to the level they're much closer to the level they're supposed to be at. And then I might actually do something that's I just fairly recently started doing in some of my kind of personal playthroughs. There we go. To help, at least theoretically help, grass spread. I have not proven in any way, shape, or form that this makes grass spread any better. But I've been doing it and it does seem to help. Okay. I do want to take a minute though to knock down this other little hill here so I have some more dirt to work with. Always in need of the dirt. I want to work on a tunnel bore at some point. But I really need to let iron farm work on generating a little bit more iron for us before we can even attempt to start building one. Because they are iron heavy machines. They are very iron heavy machines, so we're going to need a fair bit of it. So we either go mining, or we let the iron farm run for a fair bit. Personally, I'm kind of for the iron farm running a fair bit. Because that's going to give me some time to actually do some more things. Alright, so let's start this process. It's going to be odd. So what I have found, and again, I have absolutely no idea if this is actually any faster with grass spread. I do know grass spread has, the way grass spreads has a lot to do with how many grass blocks are around a dirt block. The more grass you have around a dirt block, the faster it will spread. And so by putting things together on a kind of a pattern grid like this, what I'm hoping is going to happen is that for every dirt block we have, there's at least 4 grass blocks adjoining it or adjacent to it. So when there's a can grass spread tick that occurs, let's see, that's not square, I think. Yep, that's the one I want. Okay. It has a much better chance to spread. Again, no idea. I've done no testing whatsoever on this. It just feels, and based off of anecdotal observation, feels like it does a much better job at spreading the grass over an area you're terraforming than just filling it in a nice mass of dirt to where all you have for grass is the edges. We'll get this in. We'll see how quickly it'll spread. I need more dirt. For that, I need more shovels. Yeah, for that, I need more shovels. That, and I kind of like the way that the pattern, the nice pretty patterns look. On the map as I go through that. Alright, so, before I go to sleep, let's actually grab a jungle log, turn into sticks, and I'm actually going to go back to stone shovels. You know, yes, I do have a source of iron. I would just honestly prefer not to blow through it all in relatively short order. Yeah, I need to get some of this copper cooking up. Since I've got 2 furnaces, might as well use both of them. I don't have a lava. I don't think I have lava yet in the cauldron. We'll go check it. But I do want to have a tank. That's simple. Ooh, yes, I do have I do have lava in the cauldron, so that is working. That is working. That is nice to know. Alright, so I'm going to go bucket that. There we go. Let's store a hot bucket of lava in a wooden chest. That makes a whole lot of sense. Knock the rest of this hill down. Fill out a bit more of the place we're trying to flatten. Alright, so while I'm doing this, let me talk a little bit. Do a little bit of stream of consciousness here. What kind of farms we want? Obviously, we'll want a food farm because I am really, really behind on food. I have, like, no food to speak of. Aside from those steaks and a few melons. So we're definitely going to want to work on food. Wouldn't mind a tree farm. A kelp farm, bamboo farm, sugarcane farm. I wouldn't mind those. Wouldn't mind those at all. Okay, so got that opened up. I'm gonna have to get a little bit more copper. Another little quirk I have is I like to dig around the edges of something like this little patch of stone. work my way in. So, for example, and it's raining again. This is not Forgecraft. You do not need to rain every day. It's not Forgecraft. It's not Minecraft. It's probably not any of the other insert SMP title here. Series that seem to be plagued by rain. Dang near constantly. Okay. See this nice big huge brown mess? All green over there. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Alright, let's... We got a lovely villager patrol over there. Now this is 121, so I can kill those guys without getting bad omen. And that may be something I try. Sorry, I'm starting to fill in some of these rows. Alright, so we've got this almost gridded up. I'm still going to need way more dirt to finish filling this in. There we are. Alright, so that's all gridded up. We're gonna let that go. Gonna just jump up here. Grab a couple of these long pieces of dirt. Along with this little, we'll take a little off the top here. And then I want to, again, seriously start taking a look at trying to figure out what kind of farms we want to do. And how we want to power them. Because I don't want to do a whole bunch of water wheels, which would be the easiest. Absolute easiest to do. Actually thinking I want to do some windmills. I think windmills would be a better way to do it. Better way to provide power. For that, I need a sheep farm. Which means I need sheep. And that might be a problem. I just took a look at the time. This is going to be a super long episode. Because we're way over. So let me real quickly, head back over to base, clean up some inventory, and that is where we will call it an episode. As always, of course, I do thank you all for watching and do wish you all a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good time zone to you all. Until we meet again on my next misadventure.